Hello and welcome back to another PlayStation 4 collection video, and we're starting this week with Resident Evil Village. I love a Resident Evil game. I love the Resident Evil games back on the PlayStation 1 right through to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, not so sure about 6, never got round to 7, but was really pleased to pick this copy up. Not played it yet, so looking forward to that when I get round to it. Next game, NHL 2020. Now, I don't own many sports games. This is one of the few I own. If I'm going to own a sports game, I wanted to have something a little bit different. And for me here in the UK, ice hockey is a bit different. So this is what I picked up. Pleased to have this. Really nice to have. Now, Devil May Cry. Again, I love the original Devil May Cry back on the PS2. Lots of fond memories of playing that. Super hard for me at the time, probably super hard for me now, to be quite honest. Love the enemy design as well, especially the scissor demons. I thought they were great. I think, correct me if I'm wrong, they're in this version as well. So looking forward to that, and I'm sure it will sort me out once again. Lapis Cross Labyrinth. This is a strange game. So kind of like a dungeon looter or a dungeon RPG looter. You form a party and go down into the dungeons to collect as many gems as you can. Very arcade feel to this one. It's an NIS America game, so difficult to see. You don't see it very often out on the shelves these days, but I think you still can pick it up from NIS America Direct. I'm not too sure. Burnout, or rather Burnout Paradise. Had Burnout on the 360, and I love a racing game, and the destruction mechanics in this game just take it to another level. I think it's an amazing concept, really well executed, and lots of other games have tried to imitate it with varying degrees of success, but I had to have this, the most recent entry, I'm going to say, I think it is, on the PS4. Really nice to have. Now, this one, well, Godzilla. Now, I know this is not the UK version. This is the Japanese version that I got on import, and it is the same game. Godzilla PS4 was released as Godzilla in Japan, and then re-released later as Godzilla Versus, what you see here, with the extra monsters and things that I think were in the UK version, or the version that was released outside of Japan. I kind of prefer this version because of the cover design, but nice to have this. I appreciate, obviously, it's one of the harder games to add to your collection these days, so was super lucky to have found this when I did, and certainly before the prices started to go right up for this one as well. But really quirky game, and who doesn't love Godzilla? And Pocky and Rocky Reshrined. Now, this is a remake, I'm going to say, rather than a remaster. It was originally a Super Nintendo game, and I kind of miss games, the sort of top-down shooters like this. I remember the Chaos Engine, and even things like going back to the Master System and Mega Drive and Game Ground, and I kind of get that vibe from when you get a good top-down shooter like this, with Pocky and Rocky, and in itself being apparently a classic on the Super Nintendo that passed me by. It's really nice to pick up this version on the PS4. Song of the Deep. This is probably one of the lesser known, again, correct me if I'm wrong, Insomniac games. I picked this up when I first started collecting. One of the first games I picked up. It's kind of like an underwater Metroidvania. But I love an underwater game. I love the games that bring an underwater element have always really interested me ever since I was a kid. Probably because I used to want to be a marine biologist, but sadly I'm not that. But so anything like this really catches my attention, and being quite an unusual game and one you don't see very often, it was one I had to pick up. Steep. Now, I bought this because I really miss the SSX series. I heard rumours that Ubisoft had commissioned someone, or were making a new SSX game. I don't know if that's still happening or not, but really miss those games, especially SSX 3 on the 360. Super fun game to play, amazing soundtrack, and at the time this game was the closest thing I could find on the PS4 to that. I'm probably doing it a great disservice, but that's what I was looking for. I've still got SSX3 on the 360, but I wanted something current gen at the time. Ys 8. I've never played a Ys game. I hear a lot of good things about this. I know this series is super popular in Japan and super popular with JRPG fans. I understand this is the best in the series. I don't know, I've never played it, correct me if I'm wrong, but wanted to add a Ys game to the collection just to say that at some stage I have played it and I understand how beloved these games are to people. I've still got to get to that stage, of course, like so many of these other games that I just need to find the time to play them. That's always a struggle. Code Vein is kind of like a Souls-like, but with anime graphics or anime characters. So if you like Souls games and you like the kind of anime games that are often put out by Bandai Namco, who I'm huge fan of, I should say, this game is probably for you. So again, if you like Souls-likes, if you like anime, yeah, I mean, it's super cheap at the moment as well. You can pick this up quite cheap in the shops when you see it second hand. It's going quite a good price. Star Wars Squadrons. Yeah, I'm not great with flight simulator games. I want to say, even though this is probably a space combat sim, but you know, it's Star Wars and it's space combat, and this is probably arguably, correct me if I'm wrong, the purest space combat experience for Star Wars that you can get. So again, obviously it's pretty cheap at the moment, so it's one I wanted to pick up for the collection, and it is great to play, apart from the fact I am pretty rubbish at it. Watch Dogs 2, I picked this up over its predecessor. Apparently Ubisoft have improved a lot over the formula they laid out in the original game. I'm a big fan of Ubisoft open world, especially the latter Assassin's Creed games over the former. I have to say, things like Assassin's Creed Odyssey and Origins I think are great. And talking about open world games, obviously Red Dead Redemption 2. The amount of detail in this game is just astounding. I think, if I'm honest, I preferred the original Red Dead Redemption. I had that I still got it on the 360. But Red Dead Redemption 2, if I can get the words out, is, as you know, still an amazing game. This is Yokai Watch 4++, and as I understand it, it was never released outside of Japan, so this is an import version. As a result, this isn't even playable, as far as I'm aware at the moment. It certainly wasn't when I bought it. Isn't even playable in English. So super hard to get hold of outside of Japan unless you import it. And finally, Sakura Wars. A super quirky game and a Sega series I hadn't heard of, and it's got mechs. Anyway, that's all for this week. Thanks for watching. Please don't hesitate to leave a like or a subscribe. That would help me a great deal. And until next time, take care.